Hey guys, Brian Kilby, Executive Chef here at Pavilion. Glad you're with us this afternoon. We're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to do another cooking demonstration. I'm going to do one of the biggest or the best, most asked for recipes from Pavilion, which is chicken salad, our grilled chicken salad. So we're going to go back and spend a few minutes in the big kitchen up here in Primary Building, and then we'll go down to the alumni kitchen afterwards. But we're going to go back here and grill some chicken, so come on with me. Alright guys, here we are in the Primary Building kitchen. This is my giant office where I get to do my job. And so what we're going to do today with the chicken salad, I've got you in here because we're going to grill the chicken first. The chicken for the chicken salad is grilled just on a regular gas grill, char grill, however you want to do it, whatever you've got at home. This grill that we're going to use here is just a gas grill, much like the same one you got at home, just in a commercial kitchen kind of thing. But so we're going to marinate chicken first. So kind of a cool way to do that is in a Ziploc baggie. So you got a Ziploc baggie. These are boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and we're just going to take them in here in this little baggie. I've got some, and all this will be in the recipe. We've got a little bit of yellow mustard here. We're just going to put that yellow mustard in. We've got some fresh squeezed lemon juice. That's going to go in. Some fresh garlic. Awesome. And then this is just dry oregano and dry thyme. It doesn't have to be fresh. It can be fresh if you want it to be, but this is for the recipe. It's what we use because it's just marinade. That's all it is. So oregano and thyme in there, and then this is a half a cup of olive oil. We're going to put that in. There. So after you get those in there, just get a Ziploc, your little Ziploc baggie. Push the air out as much as you can. And just squeeze it up, and then you can just kind of squish it around like this. Now you can do this the day before if you want and let it sit overnight in the refrigerator. Or you can do it like 30 minutes before. It's up to you, however much you want the marinade to kind of marry with the chicken. The longer you leave it in there, the more it's going to be flavored with the marinade. So, but I wouldn't suggest leaving it more than just overnight. The lemon juice is in there and it can kind of start to cook the chicken. So we're good with it just like that. We're going to, for time's sake, we're going to go ahead and get it on the grill. The way I like to do this is I'm just going to lay the chicken nice and easy on the grill like so. People like to fidget, people like to mess with it, people like to move it around, do all that kind of stuff. You don't really need to. What you need to do is just, when you put it on the grill, you need to let it just sit there and do its thing. When it's done, when it's ready, it'll let go of it. And whenever you go to pick it up, it'll let go and you won't pull the chicken like off of it. It'll pull that first layer off. So 6 to 8 minutes per side. Nice hot grill. Make sure it's good and clean, that kind of stuff. There's oil in the marinade, so that'll kind of help with the stickiness of it. But once it's on the grill, like I said, leave it alone until it's ready to flip. 6 minutes on one side, flip it over, 6 minutes on the other side. If you need to finish it off in the oven or something like that, you can, but it'll do great right here on the grill. Okay guys, I'm going to take the chicken off the grill. It's at its time. It's done. I'm going to pull it off. Put it on a little sheet pan, and then we're going to head down to the alumni house, and we're going to finish the recipe of the chicken salad down there. Make a little sandwich. Okay guys, welcome back down to the alumni house kitchen. We're going to finish up this chicken salad. So the recipe will be linked down below, so check that out. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can shoot me an email or something like that, and I can help you as best I can. So as far as ingredients for the chicken salad, obviously we got chicken. We're going to throw some scallions or green onions, whatever you want to call them, in there. So I've pre-washed all these already, so just when you're at home, just make sure, especially with like celery and scallions, they tend to be kind of sandy and gritty and stuff down in between. So if you get these, you take the tops and the bottoms off and just give them a nice rinse.
With the scallions, I always take the first outer layer of it off because there'll be some grit and stuff in there. So take those out and give them a nice wash with some good cold water. So we're going to take the tops off of the scallions, and then I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to kind of cut the white parts in half, like so. Just like that. Not the green parts necessarily, just the white parts. The white parts are the ones that are kind of strongly flavored. So we're just going to take our knife. Be fairly small. Big chunks of work through those using the claw method. We talked about that in the last video. So run through these, go all the way through the greens, the green parts, the whites, the whole thing except the top. Once you get those like that, we're going to pick these up, drop them in our little bowl here. So, celery is next. And celery is one of those, because like I said, you don't really want to have big chunky bits of it, right? So you want to make these as manageable as possible. So having big, long pieces like this, probably not the best, so you want to take them and just cut them in half. You're going to work with one at a time, so you're just going to take your knife, we're just going to cut these into small matchsticks like that, okay? Just like so. We're going to do a couple of them at a time. And once you get a nice little handful like that, you're going to turn it sideways, and then we're going to go back through, get to the end. Pick all that up and go in with it. We'll work on two more. So what we're doing is called mise en place, which in French means everything in its place. So as far as the recipe is concerned, what you want to do is you want to get everything together for the recipe, everything together at once so that you can kind of just knock everything out. You don't want to have, like, toasted pecans are part of this recipe. I've got toasted pecans already, I did that part of it, but if you were making this recipe, you wouldn't want to get everything put together and then realize, oh, I haven't toasted my pecans, I got to do that now. If you have everything ready to go ahead of time, then it makes making the recipe, the organization of it and all that kind of stuff, it makes it a whole lot easier, and it can even help you keep from like forgetting things sometimes, because that can happen too if you're not organized. That in there, do one more. Alright, so there's that. So now I've got some fresh parsley. You can use dry parsley if you like. Freshness for me is always better. I've got a nice big bunch of it. We washed it already, dried it really good, and took the majority of the stems, the big stems out. Parsley stems can be kind of fibrous, so if you take, see if I can find this is a good one. It's not necessarily a fibrous stem, but if you have this, or you just take it and hold it in your hand, if you got a stem out to here, and just pull like that, and it just takes that fibrous part of the stem off, and all you have left are the leaves. So the best way to do this with parsley is you just want to kind of grab it all up and wad it all up in your hand. We're not looking for anything like super fine minced or anything like that. You just want it to be small, pretty small. Get to a point where it's all kind of coming apart. You just kind of wad it all up, push it against the knife, go back through it like that. And we're going to turn it around. We're going to go back through it again, just to make sure we didn't miss any large pieces. One more time. Take that, sprinkle that in. That, and we have our craisins. If you don't like craisins, you can leave craisins out if you like. For me, this is kind of a clutch ingredient in the recipe. It's what kind of gives it a little bit of tang and sweetness at the same time to kind of off balance the saltiness of the chicken. But yeah, this is a pretty important ingredient. But a lot of people don't like fruit in their chicken salad, so I kind of compromised with this because in the past when I was making it, we had put grapes in it, just regular grapes, and people didn't like that. The grapes would get kind of wet and slimy and that kind of stuff, so we went with craisins, and I think it was a huge find and win. So craisins in the bowl. Pecans. These are the toasted pecan pieces, and if you want to toast them, all you really need to do is throw them in a dry frying pan on the stove, put it on medium heat, and just kind of sit there and just move them around, shake them around, that kind of stuff in the pan until you start to smell them. When you start to smell them, they're toasting. Give it like a minute after that, just moving them around, and they'll be good to go. Set them off to the side and let them cool completely before you add them to this. So, pecans in. I've got some yellow mustard, just good old-fashioned ballpark yellow mustard. It adds a nice tang to the recipe. So just gonna take a spatula and get that yellow mustard in. Now some lemon juice, just regular old fresh squeezed lemon juice. And if you think about it, if you notice anything, the consistency of it. So I've got lemon juice, I've got mustard, that we use to marinate the chicken. So I'm trying to use some of those things again in the recipe itself, just for continuity's sake and consistency. The lemon juice is going to add a nice acidity as well, and just kind of balance everything out flavor-wise. So mayonnaise. In my world, there's only one kind of mayonnaise, and it's Duke's mayonnaise. So if you're one of those folks that just likes Hellmann's, then by all means use Hellmann's if that's what you like. But this is Duke's mayonnaise. That's all we use in the kitchen here at Pavilion. So all that mayonnaise in. It seems like a lot, but there's a lot of chicken that's going to go in here to make this recipe. So don't think of all that mayonnaise is going to be what you're going to eat personally yourself. So just not going to happen that way. So on to the chicken. Put that guy in there. So here are our chicken breasts. I talked about it up there. If you notice, I've got some nice charred bits and stuff on the outside. All this stuff is flavor, and I think if you just stick it in the oven or whatever, you're kind of doing the chicken salad a disservice if you're not grilling it and getting all that flavor. So if you wanted to use a food processor for this, you can. I like to just use a knife. If I'm making a large enough batch just for Pavilion, then yeah, I might use it. But if you use a serrated knife, you can actually kind of almost tear it. I don't know if you can see the action of what I got going here, but when I go through the knife, I kind of push it out to the side, and when that happens, it kind of tears it almost like it's been processed. It's less of a dice or a chop and more of like a almost pulled chicken. One tip that I would give you if you're using a food processor is to not do to dice them up into smaller pieces. I wouldn't just stick 3-4 chicken breasts in the food processor at a time. You're going to end up with big chunks of chicken and that kind of stuff. So if you kind of dice them up a little bit beforehand and then do 2 chicken breasts at a time in the food processor, it'll keep that kind of thing from happening. You'll get a more uniform chop on the chicken. Or if you wanted to, like I'm doing, just do it by hand. And feel free. I mean, this is a fairly large batch of chicken salad. If you're at home, if you want to cut the recipe in half, and just if you got a family of 4 or something like that, then you can cut it in half, and that'll be plenty, for a meal at least. Or if you want to do the full batch and you're a family of 4, then that'll give you enough, probably to last a week or a few days anyway, to have at home as to make a sandwich or something like that out of it. So that's all the chicken cut. Everything's in the bowl now, so we're going to just take our spatula we're just going to kind of fold all of it in. Get it nice and mixed together. Just give it a little bit of salt and pepper. It won't need much. The chicken was already seasoned, and that right there is the chicken salad. So if you miss it, now you can make it. So we're gonna make a sandwich, so we have some presentation. But if you wanted this right here, if you wanted to put it in a container, seal it off, stick it in the refrigerator, let it sit. It'll even get better over a couple of hours. Everything will kind of marry and seal up together and everything. And then you can have it for lunch or dinner or something like that. So, sandwich. What we use here at Pavilion is an organic sprouted whole grain bread. So, got a nice plate. 2 pieces of some whole grain bread. Got a nice ripe tomato and a couple of pieces of some romaine lettuce. So we're gonna start slicing the tomato. Just want to take, this is a paring knife. You want to get the core out of a tomato. Nothing bothers me more than going to a place ordering a sandwich with a tomato on it and having a center core left in the tomato and trying to bite down on that. So you're going to go in just like this around the core, just circle around just like this, kind of in a sawing motion, kind of sort of, and pull it out just like that. You don't have to worry about the core being in there, but you got a nice red tomato. So, back to this side, to take some of that chicken salad. Put it right here on the bread. If you want to toast your bread, you can beforehand. Just like that. We'll lay our lettuce on top. 2 nice tomato slices. And you can't have tomato slices without having a little sprinkle of salt and pepper. Just like that. And you got a nice chicken salad sandwich with tomato and lettuce. So give that a whirl, guys. Try it at home, see if you like it. If you remember it and you miss it, and who knows, maybe you haven't thought about it, but maybe making this might bring back some good Pavilion memories and just give you some, you know, maybe some motivation, some uplifting, that kind of stuff in your memories here at Pavilion. So enjoy.